A very, very good evening from India and very, very good morning from Brazil and good day to all. Indeed, it is a very, very special episode based on communication skill. I would like to welcome Dr. Hina, Juan Eric, Rania, Madam Maria, yes, Beatrice, and all the viewers, those who are watching this show. Global Edu-Leaders Conference. Online, or you are going to watch this show on the topic communication techniques. Each speaker will take 7 to 8 minutes, followed by any query and question from the audience side. We all are communicating because we have a common communication language. That language may be sound, that language may be a body language or a symbol. That language may be a language of love, emotion, and feelings. So on the screen, Dr. Vasudha Nilmani.
Good evening, Mr. Singh.
Very, very good evening. Over to you for the further proceeding of the topic. I have already welcomed all speakers and I welcome you too on the show. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Singh. Good evening, everyone, and a very warm greetings from India as we celebrate a very important festival today. Mr. Singh, you want to talk about it in a nutshell later on about the festival?
Please go ahead, show is yours.
So yeah, and so this is a kind of a festival of harvest, and it says the sun changes the position, so it is a very big festival for us in India. So a lot of greetings to each one of you. And the topic today is about communication. And yes, communication is very, very important aspect because we communicate, we are able to express ourselves through communication. And it is a very, very old saying that a person who is selling chilies and he is good in communication, he speaks softly, he can do that. But a person who's selling jaggery or sugar or honey also, but if he's not good in his communication, he's not a good talker, he's rude in his approach, so then it is all futile. So it really depends. And when we talk about communication, communication is a very, very important aspect of our timeless 21st century skills also. So we have to teach children how to communicate. It is of important. It can be an oral communication, it can be a written communication, what is the significance of it, whatever is going inside my mind or my heart, it is all futile if it does not come to my tongue. So how we teach these skills to the students is of very, very important, paramount significance. And it is very, very important. And communication, when we talk about today's topic, it is about communication in the audiences. So when we are preparing our children to students or teachers to talk about communication in the audiences for the audience, so it has to be persuasive, positive persuasion. It also involves a lot of description. So there are different genres of writing. So where it is narrative, it is persuasive, it is descriptive. So when we are talking right now, when we are talking to, it has to be good oratory skills are needed. Of course, with good oratory skills, what we are talking about, the sound content, sentence structure, grammatically, whatever language it is, it should be correct, whether it is the English language, that is a global language, whether it is a regional language, whether it is a anybody's mother tongue. So whatever it is, whichever language it is, the student or the speaker should have the mastery of that language. So without much ado, I would ask the speaker, Mr. Singh, who will be speaking next. So you can let me know so that I
anyone
can.
I think we can start with Dr. Hina, then one Eric, and then Rania.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Unmute. Yeah. Over to you.
Yeah. So is it over to me?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we talk about effective communication, persuasive communication for the audience. So namaskar, all of you from Abu Dhabi. Salam alaikum and happy festivities out there in India, missing the kite flying. And Ahmedabad, of course, that's the Makar Sankranti and a lot different names, different festivals. So coming back to the communication and the persuasive techniques, there are basically, if we talk about, there are 3 types of communications like written, verbal, and non-verbal. Non-verbal is very important. Others are equally important. So the foundation of all 3 types, as we know, is a mastery over vocabulary. Which is achieved by being a voracious reader, as words are important. Shabd marta hai, words make, words break. So that forms the means of communication and is the most important aspect in written communication particularly. Now, when we talk about a paradoxical prerequisite, if we talk for being an effective communicator, is to be an excellent listener. So active, empathetic listening is mandatory to enhance one's communication skills. Mindless argument or debate will not aid effective communication unless it's a part of the debate or a legal framework where raising objection, order is mandatory kind of a thing. But even then, effective listening plays crucial role, as our argument should be made keeping in mind the points raised by the opposition. So the golden rule should be don't raise your voice, improve your arguments, and non-judgmental listening with open mind. That is very, very important. But if I have to say that basically being authentic about your stand is another pillar on which effective communication is built. In spoken communication, of course, events like the verbal and the non-verbal cues play a vital role in making it effective. Your gestures and the body language. So maybe a powerful genuine smile at the commencement of a speech is the stage setter for grabbing the attention of the audience. Also, effective communication plays a vital role at workplace, everywhere, of course, at home, at minor places to the major workplace. So firstly, when you're aware that you are an effective communicator, when you are aware yourself, there's an internally, it does wonders to your confidence level. So this in turn results in you having more productive engagement with those around you, which in turn boosts overall productivity. So I would say an effective communicator is always a go-to person in any industry to resolve challenges around people. So she can always be, or he can always be trusted to use the right words to mitigate misunderstandings and conflicts. And I would say the more you say, the less people will remember. So the right pauses can never be underestimated. Like, for example, we can say, let's eat grandma, or let's eat grandma. So pause and ponder. So I would say in conclusion that an effective communicator would always stand out wherever they are. They'll be on the fast lane to achieve career growth and financial rewards as well, because the world is carried forward to the next through communication. And for us to play our part effectively, we have to be effective communicators, as well as only then all the knowledge that we have ingrained or absorbed in us can be channelized to others around us in order to result in collective empowerment. So they say any fool can start the conversation, and it takes wisdom to know when and where to stop. Yeah, so wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something. So we all need to ponder on these points, and that's all from my side. I would like to listen to all my other colleagues out here, my panelists. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Hina, Dr. Hina. It was beautiful how you expressed yourself, and of course, it is communication is very, very important, and it leads us a long way when we are from our school days, college days, or universities, and then when we are in our workplace, in our professional. So how we present ourselves, how we communicate, how we talk makes all the difference. So now I request Ms. Rania to express her views, please.
Hello, good evening from Greece.
Yeah, Juan is, I think, raising hand. He's ready.
Oh, no, I'm just clapping.
Okay, oh, great.
I'm
Rania.
clapping. I'll give the floor to Miss Rania, my friend.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So, hello to everyone. I'm very, very happy to be here today in this very interesting topic about communication, authentic communication, and a human contact. Actually, as you said, communication is a two-way process of exchanging information. And information is conveyed as words, tone of voice, body language. And what are the famous C's of effective speaking? First of all, concreteness, because a detailed message brings clarity to communication. So concreteness and clarity. Completeness, your message should be whole. Do not leave the audience hanging. Courtesy, this shows that you have a sincere attitude. It is not merely politeness. Correctness, grammatical mistakes should always be avoided. Consideration, what it just means that the speaker considers the target group, he wants to relay the message. So it's essential to relay to the real audience for effective communication. Conciseness, because it's important to give a lot of information clearly in a few words. The message should be brief but comprehensive. Creativity, because originality and inspiration can make the messages more powerful and more impactful. And credibility, because it's important that information comes from different sources. Communication also simply actually involves translation of thoughts and ideas into words, sharing your perspective with others. That means that effective communication starts when you know your audience and you speak your language. Understand your audience, and this means that you need to know their perspectives so that you can tailor your language, your word choices, the underlying meaning and motivation for speaking in the first place to suit. And then you need to build engagement. That means to give information to your audience that they don't know already, and even they know it already, you try to give it in a way that will make them understand or do things differently. So building an engagement is that what sets you apart from another speaker, because you can connect and the listener wants to follow you. Very important, the role of dialogue as a relationship transformer, because dialogues can change a relationship by creating a new ground for mutual respect and collaboration. And very, very important concept here, it's what we call validation in relationship. Validation means that you recognize and you accept your partner's thoughts, feelings, sensations, and behaviors as understandable. Remember that you don't need to agree with the other person to validate them. If you feel that they aren't seeing things correctly, don't pretend to agree, but also don't tell them you disagree. Instead, try to understand what they're feeling, why they're feeling so, and validate that. Try to see things from their perspective. And also, it's very important to maintain your honesty and sincerity, to tell the truth in your validation, because this not only proves its effectiveness, it also increases trust in the relationship. If your friends, for example, always told you did a great job, even this it's not true, this should be made in a very careful way. So this is what we call validation. And when you say, hey, congratulations again, I'm really happy for you, these simple comments end the conversation on an uplifting and respectful note, even in difficult situations. So some tips for effective communication is how to develop magnetism, because everybody has a level of individual magnetism, strives to boost this attract more audience, how to avoid judgmental statements, how to smile is very important in communication, how to customize your discussion, how to not create controversial discussions, use clear language, master your timing, be honest, as I said before, be straightforward, apply body language, because this technique makes you appear lively, energetic, positive. Regulate your voice, several aspects of interaction are conducted using the pitch of your tone. Ready to admit your own shortcoming, your own drawbacks. Know yourself, be genuine, legitimate, and honest, and always try to make a direct eye contact. Demonstrate thoughtfulness and empathy. These, I think, that are the most important tips for authentic communication.
Great.
Beautiful, Miss Rania. I mean, I could, from the whole, your talk, I could pick up that empathy and the non-verbal body language when we are talking, our expression of our eyes, and the very, very important aspect that you have touched upon is that which I could gather from your or extract from your talk is to be a good communicator, one has to be a great listener also. So sometimes if you guys, most of you must be knowing the 7 effective habits of effective people, or by Stephen Covey. So one of the very important aspect is that when we are speaking or when we are communicating, we must seek to understand first rather than being understood. So that clearly came out of your talk. Thank you so much. And I think now I can request Mr. Von Erich to express his views, please.
Thank you very much, Madam. Thank you. And first of all, I would like to say thank you to Mr. Singh, sir, for having me here, and for Miss Beatriz from Brazil. Thank you, Madam, for inviting me here. And yes, we listened to the 2 ladies. They're talking about communication, and they mentioned about the smiling, eye contact. They mentioned the poses. They mentioned everything actually about communication. It's nice to listen to them. So this time I would like to share mine. Let's start with the 5 techniques of communication, and I'm going to lay down 5 techniques here. Number 1, pay attention. And Miss Rania and Dr. Hena mentioned about this is active listening. So pay attention, give your undivided attention to the one you're talking to. Now, with the proliferation of technology, every time we're in our screen, touching our cell phone all the time. So someone is talking to us, avoid touching your phone and then looking down. So the eye contact is the most important part, rather than looking sideways, looking to your cell phone, to your computer, or anything that you're doing. So just give your undivided attention. Number 2 technique that we should show is show that you're listening. That's more important. We mentioned Stephen Covey. Yes, listening. That's the reason why God created human to have 2 ears in 1 mouth. I just heard recently to be a good communicator, you should be a good listener, and we will going to agree with that. That's true. So show that you are listening. Number 3, this is where most important part, give feedback. So in a one-on-one conversation, giving feedback is very important based on what you understood and based on what you understand, and because of the attentive and undivided listening. So give your feedback, okay? Asking question probably. Other techniques given as probably paraphrase or summarizing. But most important is you know how to give feedback. I had this, the art of giving and receiving feedback, and 7 Toastmasters Club around the world are now inviting me. So Toastmasters, by the way, is the biggest organization when it comes to public speaking and communication. So very important is give feedback. Response. So let's say Miss Rania mentioned about congratulations a while ago. I'm listening to her. You should have that response and feedback as well. Okay. So very important. The next one, technique in communication, is you should have an open mind. Okay. This is similar to have an undivided attention. So when someone is talking to you, be it a simple conversation, have an open mind, no judgment. Stephen Covey once said that people listen just to reply. We should listen not to reply, but to understand someone. So that's what's the concept of Stephen Covey in his quote or statement. Lastly, but this is just the 5 techniques that I'm giving. Respond appropriately, okay? Active listening will also help you when you respond actively. So those are the 5 techniques that I'm laying down. Yeah, so I would like to share something here in this book. If you can see the background, say it loud, say it proud. This is the concept of my youth leadership program, because I'm also teaching public speaking to the youth here in my community before the pandemic. So in town library, in the municipality, in different organizations, I teach public speaking and communication, and we are touching base this one. And this is the concept of this book. When we communicate well, we can begin and maintain strong relationships, okay? Communications are like toolbox, right? Everything is there. Your WD-40, your screwdriver, everything. Just like communication. In communication, you should be ready. The concept there is the eye contact, the smile, the nonverbal body language, your hand gestures. Okay, those are like communication in a toolbox. So being able to communicate well is one of the most important life skill, and I agree with that. In fact, a good leader should be a good communicator. It's difficult to lead if you can't communicate. So remember, when you want to be a good leader, you should be a good communicator. That's the reason why Warren Buffett, I know you all know him, the famous billionaire and investor, he invested himself in communication and enrolled himself in the Dale Carnegie Institute, learning about communication and public speaking, because he knows as a leader, you should be a good communicator. So that's very important, okay? So poor communication leads to severe breakdowns, and we don't want that to happen in cooperation in anywhere in our organization. And effective communication results disagreements, misunderstanding, mistrust, and of course, general disinterest. So excellent communication build trust, you strengthen partnership, and you reduces conflict. When we say reduces conflict, let's say 2 countries, there will be no conflict because they have a strong agreement and a strong understanding. That's how communication works for everyone, okay? So it's given in communication, you want to be able to understand of others and be understood. But the basic concept of communication here is prepare to be amazed. When someone is speaking to you, prepare yourself to be amazed. In communication, be more interested rather than interesting. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Von Eric. When absolutely right, when you spoke about summarizing, paraphrasing, public speaking, and a great job you're doing by instilling these public speaking skills in the students. And absolutely right, a leader has to be a great communicator, because if it depends on the leader how he's going to present his mission and vision to his team. So like, for example, an architect, it is in his mind, what kind of building he wants, but he has to get it done from the team. So by getting it done from the team means that he should have the ability to communicate his skills well. One very, very important thing I learned from my ex-chairman around 10, 11 years ago. So, and it was, he always used to tell us that whenever we couldn't understand his point of view, so he always used to tell us that I was not able to explain it to you properly, rather than telling us that you didn't understand what I was trying to say. So it is a very, very important aspect of communication, wherein, I repeat, wherein we seek to understand rather than seeking to be understood. So thank you, Mr. Eric. Mr.
Next
Singh,
one is
I think
Mohammed.
we have Mr. Mohammed has to speak, and then we have 5 more minutes, I think. Mr.
Yeah.
Mohammed, over to you. Mr. Mohammed, are you there?
I think we can continue.
Hello. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Singh, you want to say something? I think Mr. Mohsen is not there. So I would like to hear your views or the concluding remarks from you today.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. As it has already been explained with Rania, Von Eric, and Dr. Hina, while teaching to the student in the classroom situation, on practical ground, or any briefing of the meeting, which is not just information which we need to convey. It is very, very important factor to create a bonding between speaker and listener, which is going to give you a better outcome or better result. If we listen to speakers, those who are emotionally connected with you, your thought, how? Because while a speaker is speaking, he or she is not looking to each one eye, but it seems he or she is looking to each listener, those who are there. So this is a clear-cut two-way process.
Hello.
Mr. Muhammad.
Yes, I'm sorry because I'm outside today, so I'm trying to find a place to talk to you. Hello, everybody. I hope you are well everywhere.
You are able to speak, or still you need some time?
Yes, I'm able to speak. Yes.
Okay.
But you heard me well?
Yeah, we can hear you. If you put your camera on, is it possible?
I'm sorry because I'm outside. We can talk.
Anyway, take your 2-3 minutes, whatever you want to express on this point.
Yes.
Yeah,
good?
Please.
I'm sorry, I'm in the club. I'm doing sports today.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Hello, everybody. I'm Mahmoud Nut Mohammed.
Yeah.
Okay. when you talk about communication, I'm a teacher. I'm an English teacher,
Right.
and at the same time, I'm a trader. When you talk about communication techniques, you have to decide first what's the type of audience you are talking to. Are you going to do some subject to teachers or students, or the category of audience you are talking to? So techniques will be according to the age and the type of audience. The best technique I'm trying to use in my lectures, the body language. I like the body language which express everything I wanted to express. So we have to use and respect the other by using the best type of body language. Okay, and choose the best technique of these. I'm sorry, I cannot. Okay. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm not concentrate because of something doing around me. Okay.
It's okay if you're comfortable,
So,
otherwise close.
I'm not comfortable to use, yes.
Any
So, okay. So I wanna just to take part in you, but I'm asking you to apologize me because of today.
sure, it's
Just
okay. It's okay. We'll take you. We'll take
yeah.
you some other day. No issue. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. Mr. Singh,
Okay.
only 6 minutes left with us.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Fine. So what I was talking about, a bonding which you create while communicating anything. It is a subject matter. It is sharing your thoughts, idea, or any emotional, social, or spiritual. So element A, who is speaking, and another party, which is element B. In between, there are the n number of barriers. Some might have a sound disturbance. Sometimes it may have a sleeping aspect. It may have a number of barriers. But if a speaker has that confidence, eye contact, and a heart-to-heart connectivity, how time goes, do not know. For example, a teacher is teaching 30 minutes in the class, getting lots of distraction, but the same student going to watch a movie, how 1.5 hours goes, how second part of the movie goes, hardly matter. So communication skill has entered into another era, which is called audio along with the visual, with the help of technology, which is more effective, which is taken seriously, and which is based on evidence. In this webinar, we have eye contact, Rania, Dr. Hina, Dr. Vasudha, Mr. Eric, Beatrice. We are watching to each other. We are sitting far away. What is common between us? That is topic. What is common between us? We all want this message, those who are going to watch. If we have to be effective communicator, we have to use technique and technology together. And then we get the desired results. So this is all. I hope we need more and more webinar on this topic, especially this is the contribution and my dream and desire for Brazilian students, especially those who are not able to speak in English at large scale. They will be benefited. Are the students around the globe, those who are seeking some guidance, they may get inspired and do better in their career. So I think closing remark, I think Beatrice and then Dr. Vasudha, you can close it. with vote of thanks.
Okay.
Yes, sir, only 3 minutes are left, so I will keep that in mind. So yes, Beatrice, please go ahead.
Sure. I think
Okay.
Beatrice will take 1.5 minutes. I know.
Okay. I would like to thank Global Edu-Leaders Forum, as always, in particular to the president and founder, SK Singh, because he is here today. And keep believing that TEL will be the example of organization for the world. The moderator, Dr. Vashuda, I would like to thank you too. And the speakers for sharing their experiences here with us. For me, convincing is putting your ability to persuasion into practice, something that is closely linked to communication. We all need to use our powers of persuasion at some point. The more information and knowledge you have, the greater your power of argument. It is interesting to go beyond your area or niche. Also look for data for other sources and find out about other topics. So develop assertiveness, and you need to order ideas and be interesting to the audience. Speak without beating around or repetition of unnecessary information. Speak in plain language, leave the technical language to write academically. Especially when talking to students, be very simple and direct in your explanations and notice how they are looking at you. This way you can see if they are understanding what you are saying. I really like to observe nonverbal language because people also communicate through their vocal and body expression. Be confident in your speech. Eye contact says it all. Eyes don't lie. Thank you very much for everybody today.
Thank you. Thank you, Renata.
Thank you, everybody.
I would
Thank
say
you.
that communication is an art and science at the same time. And the most important thing communication is to hear what isn't being said. Thank you very much.
Dr. Vashuda.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Singh. Of course, it was a very good discussion on communication, and I mean, the challenging, unprecedented times have brought us all together in a box in the virtual world. We all are far away from each other, but yes, we are together, and that's the beauty of Global Edu-Leaders Forum. And of course, I feel privileged and honored to take your vision forward. And thank you, Beatrice, for organizing such beautiful webinars where we are able to discuss a lot of things and where we are able to take Mr. Singh's vision forward. Thank you so much. Thank
you so much. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you,
Hope
everyone.
to catch you in the next. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Dr. Reena. Thank you, Rania.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Maria.
Thank you, Mr. Singh.
And
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Mr. Singh. Thank you.